Hi, this is Robert, one half of the 12 Pound Podcast. Welcome to our show. As a quick reminder, we discuss life's changes and how we hope to help you face them through shared stories and experiences. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Robert.
Welcome to fall.
No, it's not.
No, it's official. I'll tell you why.
No, it's not.
I'm looking at a box of Ivan's famous spiced wafers. I put them just behind me, so you have to look at them all episode. Is there anything more beautiful in the world than that orange box?
They're good, aren't they?
Oh, how about when they're all stacked up at the Acme?
They're stacked up right now. Yeah.
The best.
That's why they're here, because they stack them up, and you just have to buy them.
Whoever came up with that, first of all, there's just this recipe. I don't know the whole story behind Ivan's, but I know it's famous quality for over 100 years. That's what it says in the box.
That's not. Well, that doesn't seem that long anymore.
It doesn't. No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Like, I guess a kid's going, over 100 years they've been making these cookies.
Yeah, but like really since like the 20s.
I would think that would be like 2023. Over 100 years is...
Yeah, well, the turn of the century.
Yeah, but I would think they've been making these things since like...
Just 100 years different to you?
Shut up. Yeah, it is different. It is different.
It is when you're getting closer to it.
And people, like, if they say to a 95-year-old, yeah, but they've been making these for over 100 years, like, big deal.
Yeah, I remember when it was launched. I remember when the business launched.
Big deal, right?
I met the co-founders.
Yeah, I know these people.
I knew Ivan. He was an asshole.
Right. Yeah, I knew Ivan.
I got lucky.
I got fired.
Yeah, that was my recipe.
Son of a bitch.
You think there's some 95-year-old right now sitting in a
right, going, I'll never buy one of those cookies.
Ivan. I remember Ivan.
He just knocked the display over.
He took my recipe and moved to Roxborough.
That's pretty good. They're great cookies.
They are great cookies.
Yeah, my mother loved them. Dipped them in vanilla ice cream.
I was just looking through my phone, and I saw that for us, at least in this area, which is the Mid-Atlantic, Greater Philadelphia area, Ivan's is the original pumpkin spice latte. So when you started seeing pumpkin spice everything, now it's pretty much fall. But for us, in this neck of the woods, it's Ivan's. Ivan's all the way. It's the fall.
It's funny. It is. I guess it is. What are the ingredients?
Well, I'll take a look.
Lift that box up.
I'm going to lift this box. This is what we're going to do for the folks. So for those of you who are not familiar with this beautiful box,
there's some kind of spice, though.
There's some kind of spice. There is. I do not have my reading glasses, so I'm going to give this a shot.
Here.
Enriched flour.
Let me hold it way out here so you can see it.
Oh, my goodness. Enriched flour, sugar, soybean oil, unsulfured molasses, corn syrup, spices.
What spices?
Just the spices.
Well, that's ridiculous.
It's because it's their secret sauce.
But you have to put your ingredients down
and salt. You do. I mean, there's some other stuff in here, which is probably more like preservative stuff. But no, I mean,
so no pumpkin.
These aren't pumpkins. This is spice. It's spicy wafers. Yeah, a little different than ginger snaps. And, they're not bad for you. 3 cookies for 130 calories. I love these things. A little bit of protein, 2 grams. Can't beat it.
A little bit of protein.
Breakfast of champions. This is the happiest.
Damn little.
When I saw this orange box, I went right for it.
It's a good-looking box.
It's a good-looking cookie.
Yeah.
So thank you, Fall. Thank you, Greater Philadelphia. And thank you, Ivan, despite your reputation.
That you've given this poor person. We don't really know you. We want to apologize to the family, Ivan's family. Robert's, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Again, there's some 95-year-old be like, did you there's a podcast that apologized to that man?
Yeah, somebody's saying, they're talking about great-great-grandpa.
I know. He's rolling over in his grave right now.
Right.
But anyway, thank you for these wonderful cookies. Thank you for having them here. So we're back again. Yeah, last time we spoke, you were injured. Are you still injured?
A little bit. Getting better a little bit. My brother said he started that saying. A little bit. No, he really thinks he did. No, he thinks he did. That's what I love. Hilarious. That's what I love about my brother. He really thinks he started that.
Yeah.
So you'll say something to him and always go, a little bit.
He may have, though.
He may have started it. Who knows? I'll give it to him.
We'll give him that. And then you, sorry, what's the deal? Are you on the road to recovery? Or
I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah. Still not playing. That's okay. But probably, I'm going to say probably, not that I have a clue, but I don't think it'll be within the week. If I went out sooner, I think it would be a problem. I still have a little trouble, like bending over, getting things. But
so where are you redirecting this competitive energy and spirit? Where's it going?
Where is it going?
The house looks clean, so I'm assuming you're.
No, it's not.
No, so what are you doing?
It's picked up.
It's picked up, but it's not clean.
It's picked up, but
so how have you been spending your time?
I've been spending my time doing a little bit of research, podcast, and doing
research.
I
I thank you for
eating
sharing.
Cookies.
Thanks for the notes. I got them in advance. I didn't, folks. Tell me this research.
Right there. Look up.
I do. There's a whiteboard for research.
Yeah, I have a whiteboard.
Here's what the whiteboard says, folks. Fun. Redirection.
Yeah, redirection.
All of me. This is a.
That's a song. That's a song.
Yeah, all of me.
I like it. Do you know it?
I do. All of me.
You do know it.
Right now.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to sing right now.
Oh, Robert, I want you to sing.
It's the spicy wafer. It does something to my voice.
Does it?
It does a little bit.
A little bit. Oh, it's we're gonna be using that one. A little bit.
So where have you been redirecting?
Well,
this
redirecting. I've been redirecting. I've been pretty good so far because it's only been a little over, I don't know, 8 days, 9 days, whatever, and so it has not hit that. I'm coming out of it. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm moving around much better and out and about, at least walking and doing stuff. So I haven't had to do a ton of redirection.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about recovery. Did you have to go through stages of recovery?
Like, do you think back to?
Yeah, like recovery and redirecting. Like when you're recovering for something, I see. Your extensive research says "sorry for me."
Where does it say that?
Number 1.
Where does it say that?
Number 1, you're sorry for me.
Oh, okay. Well, I coach people, and I do a lot of energy coaching, and I was relating it to the 7 levels of energy, as far as redirection and attitude.
Did you have a bad attitude when you first got hurt?
No.
You're so confident. I'll tell you. Here's a Bobbie Mourier confidence story. For the audience, just so maybe you're just coming to know her. Last weekend, we asked her.
I know
if
a
she
story
had,
to tell. I know where you're going. I know.
Someone asked her if she had strong glutes, and she immediately, without hesitation, said yes, and then 7 seconds later asked where the glutes are in the body. So confident that you could not be weak, yet so unsure where that part of the body was. I thought that summed you up, right? That's how I was raised. Yeah, are you feeling? Yes, absolutely. Were you down at first? No.
No. Well,
until I sank into a deep depression.
He's snorting, folks. That's when he's really, really entertaining himself.
I am.
Yeah,
I am. So you weren't. You were.
No, I really
okay.
wasn't. I'm not even. I'm not kidding around. And why I didn't know where the glutes were, I'm surprised because I do know that muscle in your rear end, the gluteus maximus. And
you were.
Saunders had a very good explanation
she
for.
Did.
I was. Yeah. I was kind of like, oh shit, I can't believe I did. I just, when you injure yourself and you feel something go, it's not something that you're probably going to walk off in 5 seconds. You just know.
We were talking about this last week. We were saying listening to your body, right? We don't listen to our body until it punches us in the face.
Exactly. It made a loud noise, so I knew. But but as far as redirection, I was saying, I think about the 7 levels of energy and our attitude and our thoughts, which it's all about, folks. It's all about what you think. If you think your life is, pardon my French, shit, then it is. Then it is. And if you think that you're being punished, why did this happen to me? Oh, woe is me. That kind of fun person you love to hang out with. That's level 1. Level 1. That person, that's why I have sorry for me.
Yeah, words matter, right? We've talked about that a lot
sorry for me.
Over the first, 25, 30 episodes.
Yeah.
And the way you talk about your body, the words you use.
To describe your body.
Yeah.
You know, like you can be so insulting to your own body. Yeah, you have to be careful in this world anyway about being too nice to yourself, because then people, tend to say, oh, they think they're so great.
Yeah.
Maybe they just like themselves. Maybe they're just being nice to themselves.
I think it's a good habit to get in. We've heard that before as well. People who start their day, thanking that, thank you for this day. We heard that a couple times.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with your body. I think as you could kind of talk about it in terms of redirection. You're kind of redirecting the reality, which is, you're injured, but towards something more positive, which is, all right, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to give myself time. So I'm going to read that book that I haven't read, or I'm going to go for a walk because I can't run. So, I'm going to take in what's around me.
It's almost like, what can I do? What can I replace or substitute this for? And while you're saying that, leads me to I went and did a little research.
Okay.
Remember?
Is there another whiteboard?
I said I do research. And it was, okay, here's what I found. How can I have, this is why Google really kills me. It's, sometimes it's kind of silly. How can I have fun while injured? This is what I Googled.
How can I have fun while injured? This is what you're Googling?
That's what I Googled. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I Googled. Okay. So some of it is I'm going to read them to you anyway, because. Okay. Number one.
This is the number one reason on the Google search engine.
How to have fun.
All right, let's hear it.
Discover new music.
Okay, that's good. I like that one.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Why not?
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's good.
I mean, it doesn't take up a ton of time.
No, you have Spotify, I guess, start listening to, okay. And while you're doing that, don't eat a box of
Twinkies.
Ivan's cookies.
Yeah, Ivan's, exactly.
Where are the cookies? I'm discovering new music. Number two, watch movies you've always wanted to see.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Is there a movie that you've always wanted to see?
No.
Very confident in these answers. It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought.
Okay.
A movie I've always watched. I've probably seen it.
Answer first.
But I've probably seen it.
I like your process. Answer with the utmost confidence first,
and then think about it. No, here's the deal, though. Okay, this is how I thought about that. It says, he's going to snort again, folks. Watch movies you've always wanted to see. I think movies I've always wanted to see, right now I think I've seen them. Okay. So is there something coming out? I could do some research to see what's out there that I haven't seen. But I don't know what that is. So I'd have to
I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Number three. Okay, get lost in a good novel.
Okay, that's
reading,
good. I like that one.
I agree. Read some books. You have time to do that. That's definitely good. And then this is kind of redundant. Listen to audiobooks. I think 4 and 5 are the same thing. How do you read? You read a book, or you like audiobooks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you reading something right now?
This is my favorite thing. No.
Okay.
5. Okay, you're gonna love this one. Yeah. I don't know who wrote this list anyway, but this is where they really got lost. Learn some card tricks.
Okay.
Come on.
I mean, that means you have to go out and get a deck of cards.
I have a deck of cards.
All right. So So show me a trick. What have you been doing? What have you been up to?
I have Pick a card, any card. Don't tell me what it is.
Who wrote this list?
I don't know. Okay, so, when your friends call you and say, what have you been doing? And if I were to say to any one of my friends, I can't even say it without laughing, I'm learning some card tricks.
I'm actually going to start using that. Every time somebody goes, how was your weekend? It was good. I learned a new card trick. What?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I learned card
I'm sorry,
trick.
what did you say? Car? No, card.
Card.
Card trick. Yeah.
I think, though, it's funny, as you were reading that list, I was thinking, this is also something that could be maybe not the movie, but as you get older, it's good to find new things to do and ways to work your brain and, improve your cognitive skills. Card tricks, I see it. I like it.
You bullshitting me here.
No, I'm serious. I think a good card trick is important to optimal. No, I don't. No. I think this is ridiculous. But I love that Google, that's the top 5 reason.
Although, now that I think about it, when you're back out there and you're invited to something, you can always bring that card trick with you.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
It's portable.
Or you could just say, "Hey, does anybody have a deck of cards?" Why? Well, I have a trick. I learned it while I was injured.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Oh, I love it. I love it.
I think that's a great way
it's good.
to break the
Maybe
ice.
it's good. It's better than I thought.
I think it, tricks are
We've
always
talked it
good too,
out.
like magic tricks.
Yeah, magic tricks.
Yeah, why not?
Tricks, period.
Well, it used to be like a good joke.
Yeah.
Break the ice.
Learn some jokes.
Yeah.
Learn some new jokes.
Learn a card trick.
Learn a card trick.
I'm gonna call to action to our audience.
And here's one.
What's a good card trick?
Number 6. You ready?
Yes.
Because they start, I think, to get a little weaker.
Okay.
I'll go for the
Yeah,
books.
I'm sorry. So card trick was in the strong list.
Yeah. Okay. Play classic games with your visitors. Okay.
So you mean they're visiting you at
They're
the
all
hospital?
outside. Sorry, guys, I'll be out in a minute.
Where are they visiting you?
I don't know. Like no one's banging on my door.
That made it sound like you're in hospice.
And they made it sound like somebody's coming over, right?
Yeah.
I heard you pulled a hamstring. I'll be right there.
I'll be right over with
Get
us.
your classic games out.
Yeah.
What's a classic game? Oh, classic.
Scrabble,
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
Okay.
Yeah. What else is classics? I don't know. Uno.
Just George.
Just George. Yeah, that was Mom's game. Mom invented a game called Just George back in the 90s.
Yeah. Got up to.
It was a runaway hit in Medford Lakes, New Jersey.
No, we got up to what was Bradley, or who was the big
Milton
game?
Bradley.
Yeah, got up to the big game company, their R&D department, and the bottom line was it was too sophisticated for the general public. That's mostly everything.
Should have gone in with a card trick.
I know. I know.
Here's a card trick.
Who would have thought?
Just George card trick.
Yeah, who would have thought?
I
Who
know.
would have thought? Anyway, so that's the list.
Okay, so that's all right. So you've got some
That's the
things you can
list.
do over the next week until you're back, until you're recovered. You're redirecting your energy
right.
to a card trick and a movie, maybe.
Exactly. And as I said, I think so far my attitude has been okay. If it went on a lot longer, it would start to deteriorate a little bit, no question about it, because you get cabin fever. It's really an interesting thing. Sometimes you're just looking for that day or whatever that you have absolutely nothing to do. Nothing to do. And usually you don't do that, but it's just the thought that you don't, everything, I don't have yard work, I don't have to do this, I don't need anything, I don't have to run an errand, nothing needs to be fixed, I don't have to do anything on that's great. Then you're laid up, and now you're like, what? Now you want to do everything. All these things you didn't want to do, now you're like jonesing to mow the lawn. It's like, you really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's just that you can't. It's sort of like that, don't tell me I can't do something. Or it's just, our brains are really, how we work is really interesting.
No, I think that's the hard thing about injuries. I think it forces you. What I actually think they do, which is unusual in today's world, is that they force you to slow down. So they do force you to stop moving. They force you to stop, to
redirect,
to just pause,
and
pause.
Redirect.
Yeah, it's funny. It's of all those things, I'm surprised. Like on the list, it's not like just put everything down and just try to reflect a little bit. We don't get a lot of alone time anymore. Most people, you're either with your phone or your television or with friends or family. So when you get a little alone time, it can add up. I'm with you on the cabin fever, especially when it's beautiful out.
Yeah, and it's been really, we're still in summer.
Yeah, it's
and we talked about that last time. We were talking about, Rob said happy fall, but I have to tell you, it really still feels like summer. But I wanted to get back to the redirection. I talked about level 1, sorry for me. And then some people when they have an injury, go through a different process depending on the injury and how long it is and how much pain is involved in it. And they're mad. They're just really mad about it. And that's when we're talking level 2, which is kind of that anger, like an anger stage or phase. Level 3 would be kind of accepting it and saying, somebody says to you, "Hey, Bobbie, how you doing? How's your leg? How's your whatever?" And fine. It's sort of the way you say it. Yeah. Fine.
Or could have. What level is could have been worse? It could have been.
Could have been worse. At level 3. Level 3. It's better than the other, for sure. Once again, the other two levels.
Yeah, what's level 4?
Level 4, it doesn't too much apply. Level 4 is your caretaker, you're helpful. I guess you could look at it as caretaking of yourself, which would be really good for a level 4 person, because a lot of times they have trouble taking care of themselves.
Yeah, so maybe it's a moment to
say, you know what? I'm going to take as good a care of myself as I would have taken for someone else.
Yeah,
if this had happened to them.
Time for me.
It's time for me. Yeah, let's look out for me. That's a good point. I like that, Rob. I didn't even think. I kind of, for a moment, thought level 4, does it apply? Does it apply? I think it really applies.
Yeah, I would think.
For that level 4 that is, I coach a lot of people that are very, very, very strong level 4. And I wonder, when they're hurt, how they tend to themselves.
Yeah, maybe they try to...
I mean, injured, not hurt, as far as they're going through something mentally, that's bothering them.
And how about level 5?
Level 5 is where I think is the what we were talking about, the redirection. And that's, what's the opportunity here? What's the opportunity? Level 5 is opportunity. Seeing the opportunity in anything, anything. Seeing the opportunity in a promotion, as well as seeing the opportunity in being fired. There's opportunity in everything. You just have to look for it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's something I've been trying to think about more and more. When something comes up, something, gets to you, finding the side of it, which is like, okay, this isn't working out as I thought it would, but you know what? I'm going to try this instead. And I think that's now giving me the time as a result. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. But, changes in attitude, it's attitude is pretty much everything.
So to have a change in attitude, do you think it takes practice?
Yeah, I do.
How do you practice?
Well, if you have if that's trouble, something that's a little more difficult for you, it's easier for some people naturally. They're they call them glass full people. They don't tend to go to the dark side. Remember, Mark used to go the dark side. And looking at they're just more positive about things. But what was your question, Rob? I'm sorry.
I wasn't even listening to you. I'm assuming that
I know. I ask him that on purpose, folks. About every 6th episode, because that's what he's going to tell me. That's what he's going to tell me.
I think that one of the things that I wonder is that when you have a certain attitude about things, if you have a certain attitude about the weather, if you have a certain attitude about a person or your job or your boss, how do you change that attitude? Do you change the attitude, or do you change the environment, the situation?
Well, the first thing you have to do is want to. That's number one. The first thing you have to do to change your attitude is you have to want to change your attitude. A lot of people have no interest in changing their attitude.
So, it's kind of like help. The first thing you have to do when you need help is want the help.
Yes, or yes, absolutely. Or not even just help. To say to yourself, I'm really feeling sorry for myself here because I hurt myself playing pickleball. And I'm angry and I feel sorry for myself and I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel this way. So what can I do to change that? What am I going to do? So the first thing is I've acknowledged that I don't like this. I've acknowledged that it exists. And the second thing I'm going to do is figure out what action I'm going to take, right? So you have acknowledgement, the A's, double A, right? AA. And then I'm going to take some action. What action am I going to take to possibly make myself feel better?
So then it just depends on the situation.
Yes. Yeah. And every situation obviously is different, but that's where we're talking about redirection. We're redirecting our thoughts, right? You can stop your thought.
Yeah.
You can stop that thought.
Yeah, I stopped thinking about this conversation a little while ago.
I know you did.
I'm just kidding. I find it very interesting because I think that, acknowledgement and action make a lot of sense. I think you acknowledge that something's off or something doesn't feel good or you want to be doing something different. And then it's okay, well, what can I do to change that feeling? So the action could be change your job. If it's work related, it could be take a different approach to the way you get out of bed in the morning. If you kind of start off feeling not so great, finish your day with exercise. I mean, there are lots of different.
Yeah. What works for you?
Yeah. Whatever works for you.
We were talking about music. They were talking about how do I, whatever it was, how do I feel better when injured? Well, how do you, music makes me feel better, period.
Yeah. Music always makes me feel better.
So, and the louder, the better. And as you well know, but just put something on because you've redirected, you've stopped the thought, and now you're singing lyrics.
Yeah, I just did it actually. I was just listening to, we're in September. It was recently the anniversary of 9/11. Yeah, I was thinking about that recently because, thinking about music and how music makes you feel a certain way. And I was thinking about, it was around 9/11. And I had seen U2 in concert. I don't know if you remember this, but
Sure.
You got me for my birthday. You got me tickets to go see U2 in concert. It was my birthday, October 25th, 2001.
Yeah, to think about that for a minute.
I did. Yeah, but it was that show was very was very impactful because it was shortly after 9/11 and their music at the time, especially the Joshua Tree, which is one of my favorite albums, really gets me inspired, partly because I have an association with it from that concert at that time in my life, living in and around New York City. And then, having gone to the show. And then now when I listen to Where the Streets Have No Name, I get inspired to hear the beginning, of that song. So anyway, but yeah, I'm with you. I think those little things, sometimes they can.
Yeah, it stops the thought. It changes the thought, and sometimes it's a lasting thing for the day, or for sometimes it's not. Then, I'm sorry. You don't have to edit this out. My dog just took a pillow, a chair pillow, from the floor, big, and is just nonchalantly.
She's just walking back and forth,
walking out of the room with it, saying, "Do you see me?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm doing?"
Yeah. What is this? Is this it today? Are you guys done recording soon? Right. So we can let the dog know we are wrapping up in a few minutes, but it's I love this dog.
Oh boy, yeah, I do too. But
she's a handful.
She is a handful. She just likes to. She's a retriever. What can I tell you? She'll retrieve anything.
She will.
She will retrieve anything.
Whether she'll give it back to you is a different story.
Well, if there's cheese involved, it comes back.
It comes back. Cheese.
But anyway, we were talking about music or redirecting or your thoughts, and the initial question was, can you change your thought? How do you change your thought? And it's different for anybody. You said exercise, get up, get out, get up, get out. Music, anything, music is an interesting one because there usually are lyrics involved. And that means you're saying words other than the lyrics you were playing in your head. Those lyrics like, why am I hurt? Why can't I go out? So it's like you've got a different tune going on. And I always put something on that's almost big orchestra, show tuney, and then I can, be the star. I'm transformed on this. I'm transformed to the stage. I'm just in a world of my own. And that's just always been for me. Music is, has always been something that can totally uplift me or, take me to another place.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm in a mood or working out or something along those lines.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think of what other things would be, what other people do. I always think of, to change your thoughts, to change your mood, to change your attitude. Yeah. Every day is not, wonderful, things happen and we can tend to dwell on them, and the longer you dwell, sometimes the longer it takes to, you think the longer you stay in something, sometimes the harder it is to get out of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's good. And same thing about staying in the thought of the fact that you're injured or you're, It's funny. It would be an interesting interview because there are people that have horrible, debilitating things happen to them. Not a pulled hamstring, not a strained hamstring. That's like chump change. If you can't get through that, you really, seriously, buck up, bucko. But it doesn't sound very empathetic, but it's like, come on. There are, a friend of mine when I was really young and I used to, call him, or I was down about something. He'd say, go rock a sick baby, go someplace where there's people really having trouble. And that's the truth. It's like, it brings things into perspective, but anyway, I think an interesting interview would be to interview and there are those people that have, whether it's disease, even terminal, or horrific injuries from a car accident where they're never going to walk again, they're never going to do this again or that again. And they're just amazing. Their attitude is amazing. They're actually happy. I'd like to talk to them. Not just you read about stories I'd like to talk to them. I'd like to look at them. We have to think about that. I'd like to, please don't run out there to be on the show and, crash your car or anything silly like that.
Yeah, don't do anything.
Because you read about people like that or you see them being interviewed or whatever and talk about attitude.
Yeah, it was, it's funny you brought that up. I was in Colorado, as you know, earlier in the summer. And when I was visiting, I ended up spending time in the hospital after Saunders' mom had an accident. She injured her leg. And, during her recovery, I met a woman named Becky Springer and her husband, Vincent Vigil. And Becky was sitting outside on the patio looking out at the front range of the Rocky Mountains. She had a tube in her nose and, she looked a little tired. Her head was covered with a bandana. And we began speaking, and I came to learn that she was battling an exceedingly rare autoimmune disease. It was called neuromyelitis optica. So unfortunately, it's terminal, and she was very open about it. It was the first thing she said. She said she's dying. And it took her a little while to come to grips with that. She's got a daughter. I think she was 13, if I remember correctly. And when I had met her, she had just regained her vision and the ability to walk. So she was going home the following day. And, we started talking about, the importance of family, what she likes to read, just life in general. But I was really amazed for much of what you just said, which is how positive she was. How not accepting is the wrong word. And I've actually, funny enough, I haven't said this out loud, but we've been in contact, and she wanted to come on the show, but her energy has not been quite there. So it's been a little difficult.
That I would bring. That's interesting.
But it was really amazing to see how positive her spirit was, in the face of death, in the face of the end. And she doesn't know when it's going to come. And, she's had some glimpses of it recently. But it's for her, and at least for me in that moment, I mean, I was kind of in between two people who were going through something very serious on their own. Saunders' mom was dealing with a broken femur, and then Becky was dealing with end of life, and having to deal with this terminal disease. So both of them were difficult in their own way. So I would never want to try to compare the two, for each of them. But what I did find from both of them was some resilience, real resilience, that real spirit of, I'm going to get better. And if I don't get better, I'm going to live a good life while I have it. And that's what I saw from Saunders' mom, and that's what I saw from Becky as well. And, so for me, it was really, I felt like it was a gift,
to you. Yeah.
Yeah. To have met someone like that for the reason you just said,
exactly.
Not to be like, go rock a sick baby. It sounds, I think you have to be careful with that. You've said that a lot, like us growing up over the years. It always felt a little callous to me, cause everybody's a little different, everyone has different situations and different, they may not be as sick as that child, but they're going through something that's a real struggle for them. So you kind of do have to empathize for a minute. You got to put yourself in their seat and then show some compassion. You got to step away from it, but still understand that they're doing it.
Yeah.
But then you have to kind of reflect. And I think reflecting is important. And you reflect and you say, this is more to your point, which is, okay, things could definitely be worse, but they're not right now. So let me appreciate what I have and make the best of it. Because today is maybe, it's cliche, but today may be all I've got. So for me, that chance encounter with Becky and her husband, were really special. I ended up, we were talking about books that evening. I went out and bought her a book. I gave it to her the next day. And, and since that time we've been in contact. So, but yeah, it's funny you brought that up. So anyway, hopefully that'll be a future conversation. I hope that Becky has many years ahead of her, and as a result, we can
yeah, that
chat
would
with
be
her.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, until that time, Mom, once again, wonderful to speak with you. We're on a roll. We're on a streak. Let's get some good interviews and continue to practice our appreciation.
Yeah, and if we always like to hear from our listeners as far as what they might be interested in hearing us talk about, or what's been going on. Not so much hot topics, but we always like to hear from you and your thoughts.
Yeah, always. So you can find this episode and past episodes at our website at 12poundpodcast.com. And if you want to reach out to us, please do. We would absolutely welcome it. And as always, Mom, thank you for your extensive and intense research. It really made this an incredible episode. I look forward to the research you're going to do for the next episode.
Thank you, Robert.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okie doke.
Bye.